All right. Thank you, Panda. And well, as always, in my hour, if I go above 25 viewers, I do stream an additional game. I wasn't planning on it, but, well, it seems like there's a little bit of a WarCraft 3 viewing party here. So let's go ahead and dive on in to game number 3 here. All right, over here on the bottom left-hand side of the map, we have Yumiko spawning. I believe this is Yumiko. Let me double check. Yes, it is Yumiko spawning as the blue human. Meanwhile, Juan has spawned as the red undead. And the reason why it's all so confusing is... Well, come on, let me... There we go. So, let me switch that. There we go. Alright, so Yumiko is blue and blue here. Juan is red and red up here. Alright. Everything looks good. Hopefully, no...
Job's done. Job's done.
Alright, well, thank you very much. Thank you very much, Panda. Death Knight now being trained up here. It looks as though it is going to be a ghoul opening. Tomb of Relics also being placed down. Meanwhile, opposite side of the map, Mountain King has joined in on the fight. And I really like the Mountain King Blood Mage strategy going up against Undead significantly more. The reason being is, well, siphon mana. Oftentimes, Undead players do try to go for tri-hero. There's more heroes to siphon mana from, and a Lich without mana, a Death Knight without mana is, well, significantly less scary. On top of that, there is always going to be 2 to 3 Obsidian statues, which are primary targets for siphon mana as well. If you're able to siphon mana and remove mana from those Obsidian statues, they become significantly weaker, and there's no easy way to get mana into units for Undead. So that's pretty much the reason why, and pretty much the reason for that. Let's take a look. Oh, Mountain King actually gets the last blow there, able to get some bonus experience, throws down a Thunderclap. Not only does it deal damage, it slows the attack of the remaining units there, thereby, well, saving some of that own units. Alright, gonna go ahead and continue to pick up more items here. Let's take a look. Mountain King should be picking up that last item. Not quite sure why he isn't doing that exactly. Picks up a Wand of Mana Stealing. Alright, Mountain King now making its rounds out. Let's see where all of these units are going to be going next. Mountain King going after these Murlocs. Should be able to clear that up with no problem. Taking a look, couple of ghouls, well, eating through that tree line there as we are teching the tier 2. And as a good Undead player, he'll probably be transitioning these ghouls from here to here in a little bit of time to try to cut down on that harvest lumbering distance. Militia also being cleared out here, so it looks as though we are going to be going for a fast expansion attempt. Fast expansion, Ogre Magi, and all of these units, 5-4-2-2 Creep Camp. Mountain King should actually be able to get to level 3. And this is one of those situations where Knight or Undead versus an Undead player, you want to be able to get to level 3 very fast, but at the same time, you also want to have an expansion up. You want tier 2 for that Blood Mage, but it often feels like when you're going up against an Undead player, if you don't have that expansion, you're actually behind economically, since the Undead units get so much stronger. Once an Obsidian statue is out onto the field, it just has so much more robustness. The Lich is out there as well, and you just are casting and under so much pressure from Frost Nova and Death Coil. Mountain King making its way across over here. Murlocs will get finished off. Mountain King will stay at level 3. Very rare to see a Mountain King actually get to level 4 before the first engagement against the Undead. But the Death Knight here, Juan, not actually trying to put pressure, perhaps trying to get to level 3 on his own Death Knight as well. Let's take a look at this. This creep camp should end up getting cleared up very, very quickly. Skeletal minions absorbing the majority of that damage. We should also be eventually transitioning into a slaughterhouse, which is going to be placed down right here, and also training up a Lich. Undead army, Crypt Fiends, Lich, Death Knight, Obsidian statues. Very, very powerful with a nasty 1-2 punch. Death Knight gets up to level 3, has plenty of mana. And here we go. All right, a little bit of damage. Mountain King could end up taking a lot more damage than he wants. There's a Death Coil for the guaranteed kill on the Footman, though, getting a little bit more experience.
Upgrade complete.
Expansion is already up. We are going into an additional barracks. All right, additional barracks normally means, at this point, normally it means riflemen, but I don't see a blacksmith as of yet. Still a little bit curious there. Footmen are getting taken down, and adding more footmen to the army would just end up adding more experience to Juan right now. Even with Defend up, eventually what ends up happening is that the Death Coils, the Death Coil Frost Nova, and the slow of that movement speed just starts to add up a bit too much. One or two more shots onto that Footman should finish him down. Let's take a look. Is that shot going to be enough? There goes that final shot there. Juan, noticing the Crypt Fiend attack was already initiated, said, you know what? I can Death Coil this and let that Crypt Fiend attack reach its target. All right, Death Coil to try and save. It does, in fact, save. Are we perhaps going to see a Frost Nova onto some of those other units? Mountain King could take a lot of damage. There is a quick reveal there. Mountain King could be in trouble. Mountain King gonna, purposely dodge right there. And trading a Scroll of Town Portal, Lich could come back with a big Frost Nova right here, slow down multiple units, and then finish off some other units there. All right, let's take a look at that. Footman gonna go ahead and get taken down. There it goes. Lich, I could have sworn, was gonna land a Frost Nova, slow down more units, and cause more problems. Footman now getting Defend. Well, Death Knight gonna join in on the fight. I'll cross over here. Let's take a look at this. Well, what is going on here? Going after this engagement, not necessarily the smartest, as we're going to take a look at the Arcane Tower just constantly getting repaired, but peasants, well, are going to be taking a bit of piercing damage as well. There goes another peasant again, and now could perhaps go after other peasants once more. All right, let's take a look. Death Knight is going to perhaps try and Death Coil that unit. Again, Footman trying to slip away. Lich still has plenty of mana to go after all of these units. Down to 233 hit points. One or two more shots should be enough. Crypt Fiend could have turned back around, dealt more damage again, as we're looking at, well, Yumiko just running around in circles. Not necessarily the best call. Death Knight doesn't want to launch a Death Coil, as we should be getting an Obsidian statue down across here momentarily. That Obsidian statue does seem to be a little bit later than normal, as the Death Knight and Lich, well, the Death Knight get a kill off. It looks like he should have, but I don't see any corpses anywhere nearby. All right, peasants getting taken down. Footman gonna join in on the fight. Death Knight continuing the chase after those targets. Mountain King gets in a big Frost Nova. Scroll of Town Portal, most likely. Was it transferred? No, not transferred. What is going on here? It looked like he tried to transfer the item, unable to do exactly that. There's the Death Coil just in time, trying to finish off that last unit. There it goes. Let's see, are we gonna get a Potion of Healing? No, we are not. And the Death Knight loses his partner in crime. All right, more battling underway here. There goes a Footman. Well, there goes the Footman now. Death Knight unable to save any more of these units. Unit's going to try to head back again, and the Mountain King is out of that fight. All right, Footmen now still looking to back up here. Mass army of Footmen with Defend. They will be able to reflect back damage. We are at tier 2. We are getting up a Blood Mage now, and the Mountain King is also trying to heal up as well. All right. 2 bases to 1. Lich is getting resurrected. Destroyer form getting added in. Orb of Corruption will be quickly picked up by that Lich. Death Knight, however, ventures on over a little bit too far and says, you know what? I cannot stick around here. All right, Crypt Fiends, all of these units will be forced to back up here. Let's take a look a little bit. Enough damage? No, not quite enough. 2 peasants repairing, and that will be enough to force these units to retreat back. Mountain King tried to be brought over, not going to be enough. Lich is at level 1. Death Knight is at level 3. Mountain King has really been throwing down those storm bolts, and now with a Blood Mage as support, should be able to do a lot more damage with those spells. All right. at this point, Yumiko is just, yeah, he was just trying to buy time to allow his economy to really take hold. The downside of this, though, is the amount of experience and the amount of time invested over here. Let's take a look. Obsidian statues are going to be joining on the fight. Lich and Death Knight is all here ready to go. There is one destroyer as well, and with no real anti-air, what can be done about these destroyers? Destroyers, do they have mana? One of them should have had mana. Why not? That had to have been a mistake. You normally absorb mana before you keep on going, and that we definitely did not see that here. All right, Book of the Dead also used. Skeletal archers able to finish off and deal terrible, terrible damage here. The destroyers, if they had absorbed mana, would have been able to finish off those buildings rather easily. As you see, the damage is still adding up. Yumiko is going to be in a bit of trouble. Stormbolt, Death Coil. After those units, Crypt Fiend, Frost Nova, Blood Mage. Looks like he'll be able to head back out. Mountain King gets up to level 4. Destroyers going after all of these peasants now, and it looks like more peasants could get taken down. Blood Mage lost in the engagement. Mountain King, Footman trying to get a surround. Death Knight still has plenty of, well, has mana, but is it going to be enough? There's the Thunderclap, and, well, Frost Armor not going to be enough. Death Knight a split second late on that mana, as the Crypt Fiends are still engaging here. Mass Footmen with Defend. Riflemen also joining in on the fight, as the Destroyers could end down here. All right, a handful of units are all that are left. Lich gets resurrected at the tavern, only to get, well, death coiled at the last moment for the save. Obsidian statue now joining back in on the fight. Lich also has a potion of healing. He uses it in time to stick around a bit longer as well, but that's not going to be enough, as the Lich, does it get the Scroll of Town Portal? No, it doesn't. Juan is just really overstaying his welcome in this battle, as Dark Rangers could start to add in on the fight too. Footmen now trying to retreat. Crypt Fiends, well, need to back off here. 51 supply to 36. Juan is just absolutely losing this battle by 15 supply, and he's still sticking around. There's a reveal. Dust of Appearance, as there goes that Crypt Fiend. Mountain King, level 5, level 3 Thunderclap could potentially be huge, but the Mountain King still low on mana. What's going to be happening next? Mountain King almost at 75 mana. There's a 75. Are we going to look at another Dust of Appearance? Oh, Dust of Appearance was already applied there, but it just came to an end. All right, what's going to be happening next? Blood Mage still sitting at level 1. Yumiko, it really felt like he was not able to get his feet underneath him, but Juan stayed around far too long, and even with the resurrection at the tavern, was unable to hold on to that Lich, and is now down by 15 supply. Tuning in, everyone. Death Knight, Dark Ranger now, well, trying to fight away from the action, get a little bit of an advantage any other way. Blood Mage looks at all of these tasty units with mana and says, give it to me, trying to get every bit of mana out from all of these targets. Blood Mage now up to 98 mana. You can see Mass Footmen as well from double barracks, but we don't see any additional units being trained as of yet. We're looking at 472, 500 gold, but we are not sitting on that much lumber, unfortunately, for Yumiko. Yumiko is continuing to siphon more mana away. Let's take a look what's going to be happening next. Well, Mountain King now being forced to back up. Stormbolt on that unit is rather scary. Death Coil unable to do the steal. Siphon mana, Stormbolt onto the Dark Ranger. Dark Ranger losing a lot of mana. Death Coil saves it, but the Crypt Fiends and other units now being forced to retreat back because of that Thunderclap with that slow move. Mountain King can still make its way forward. Gets a Stormbolt onto the Lich. There you go, siphon mana away. There's the Death Coil for the save, but that Lich was nowhere near low on hit points as of yet. Potion of Lesser Invulnerability being used. Scroll of Healing follow up. Mountain King can easily get off another Stormbolt right there. Are we going to see a big Thunderclap? There's the Thunderclap slowing down any sort of retreat again, as the Blood Mage could try and siphon mana away from the Lich. Nope, giving it back to that Mountain King once more. There's that Stormbolt again, and this Blood Mage Mountain King strategy works so well against Undead specifically. All right, let's take a look at that. That Obsidian statue could have been taken down earlier, or at least siphoned mana down to 57 hit points. There's a Frost Nova. There goes the, well, Priest as a Death Coil saves the Dark Ranger. Death Knight low on mana. Siphon mana into the Mountain King. Mountain King continuing to just constantly win all of these battles, as you see a bunch of low hit point units off to the north there. Mountain King still getting more mana again, almost up, back up to topped off. There he goes. Blood Mage currently out of mana, but it looks like they are ready to repeat the strategy once more. All right, Mountain King. Level 3 Thunderclap, I believe, was chosen. Those Thunderclap, just the area of effectiveness and how much damage it does, the slow that it hits with everything else causes so many problems. Yumiko also still mining away here. Main bases and the expansions. Well, about 10 more minutes of... Is it 10 more minutes? About... Nope. 8 more minutes of mining left as the Mountain King sticking around, actually taking some of the precious experience away from the Blood Mage. Now, we are now just upgrading the castle. No sign of a paladin for a third hero, but Juan needs to do a lot of work to try and catch back up. He is currently staying at low he's currently trying to stay at low upkeep to get as many upgrades as possible, but he also does need to set up an expansion. But where is he going to try and do that? Death Knight clearing out the remainder of the creep camps here. Meanwhile, Yumiko doing a great job clearing out another creep camp without the Mountain King to maximize the experience on that Blood Mage. Blood Mage now sitting at level 4. Yeah, at this point, Banshees with anti-magic shell may be necessary, but we're actually looking at Juan going into a second slaughterhouse. Second slaughterhouse could be for perhaps the meat wagons. Meat wagons, well, could do a little bit of damage, or at least put pressure on buildings, as that is what is often missing from an undead army. You're able to focus down units with Crypt Fiends, Frost Nova, Death Coil, but actually when you're trying to engage against a building, you just can't do enough damage at all. Death Knight has picked up a Cloak of Immolation, not necessarily the best item here. Mountain King could try to throw a Stormbolt, does not do it. We are now going into more Abominations, which is actually a very, very smart call. You have Disease Cloud and the fact that the Abominations do move quickly with the help of Unholy Aura and are instantly healed by 400 to 600 hit points. 600 now, as that Death Knight is sitting at level 5. All right, also going for Scroll of Healing. No Acolyte repairing there. Let's take a look. Yes, Unholy Aura level 2. All your mechanical units also seem to be able to regenerate somehow as well. All right. Clap AoE plus Flame Strike is good versus Ground Without Banshee. Yeah, but at the same time, we've also seen some timely Stormbolts. So you may want to just give all of your mana to the Mountain King and let that Blood Mage perhaps stay in the back. We also are looking at a Paladin now. I still don't see an Orb of Fire, and that Blood Mage seems pretty... no, there's the Orb of Fire on the Mountain King. Oftentimes you try to give the Orb of Fire to a range unit so you can disrupt the healing any other way. Abomination is now joining on the fight here. Let's take a look at this. Arcane Sentry is here as well. Crypt Fiends, Lich, all here ready to go. Abomination's absorbing a large amount of damage. What's going to be happening here as we are looking at the Mountain King Stormbolt onto that, well, Abomination, but a quick Death Coil saves it back up. All right, repairs are underway. No meat wagons to attack and deal damage to all of these units in the back with range. Stormbolt, no siphon mana. Surprisingly, Death Coil saving the Dark Ranger, and damage is adding back up. Mass Abomination is trying to just get in line right here. Silence across multiple units as well, as the Crypt Fiends are now looking to back up too. All right, there's a big Thunderclap. No Death Coil to save one low hit point Abomination. Siphon mana away from the Death Knight after a Stormbolt there, as the Abominations could get taken down one by one. Oh, Death Coil was in time there. Are we going to perhaps be looking at another Scroll of Healing? Obsidian Statue trying to back up. Scroll of Town Portal trying to get away. There's a Death Coil. Frost Nova taking down 2 riflemen, just as we're seeing more targets coming across here. Paladin almost gets taken out as well as the Death Coil finishes off another rifleman. The Obsidian statues need to give much more mana to that Death Knight. Death Knight may consider dropping that pendant, using the Potion of Mana and picking it back up. Yes, doing exactly that to get back up to 315. Yumiko now in a little bit of trouble. He cannot let this expansion go. Stormbolt saves, getting a save here, but the Abomination about to get taken down is going to be able to finish off. Yes, finishes off the expansion right here as the units are now trying to head back out. Death Coil saving one Abomination, another Abomination, however, not so lucky as the Mountain King is giving chase. All right, Mountain King may be able to throw off another Stormbolt. Does not do that as the Riflemen, well, Riflemen are constantly just out of range. Juan winning that battle with less forces, and we'll see how this is going to continue. Death Knight still sitting at about 300 mana right now. 2 obsidian statues, one without mana though, as that could be a problem. All right, let's take a look. Siphon mana, trying to go after some units. There's a silence on the Mountain King. Mountain King could be, well, waiting for that Thunderclap. Abomination Stormbolt, or waiting for the Thunderclap, still not inbound yet. There's 2 very low hit point Abominations, and now 2 dead Abominations, as we're looking at the Blood Mage, who could be in serious trouble. All right, Staff of Sanctuary saves. He's going to be out of the fight for quite some time. Death Knight doesn't have enough mana for a Death Coil as of yet. Down to 20 hit points, trying to head back to the very back line here. Crypt Fiends trying to go after those priests, and with no destroyers for Devour Magic, the inner fire of those riflemen, bonus damage plus extra armor is really adding up. All right, continuing that Lich ability, Orb of Corruption, just chasing after those targets. Death Knight finds another target there and ends up coming out ahead. All right, expansion was quickly rebuilt, but it looks like it could get taken down again as Juan finally takes the supply lead, 57 to 56. Battle still raging on here. Peasants, no masonry upgrade, as I've seen. Blood Mage finally healed back up. He was Staff of Sanctuary, meaning that the Mountain King was low on mana and unable to do very much for quite a bit of time. As Juan, what is he doing here? He has 1 minute left. He needs to finish the game here. Lich gets up to level 4. Well, Lich could be in trouble. Are we going to look at a Stormbolt? Stormbolt onto a Crypt Fiend. Crypt Fiend is going to end up getting, well, no, Death Coil Frost Nova onto the Mountain King. Mountain King now trying to head back here. Let's take a look. More units trying to, well, continue to battle it as the Mountain King is so close to level 6. Blood Mage here, ready to go. Paladin, ready to go. Rifleman, 3-1 upgrades. And Juan, as soon as this gold mine is gone, he knows that every additional second that the game is played, well, is not going to bode well for him. However, this expansion was actually rather limited in gold. And this goes back to an earlier point I made. It almost feels like in a game versus Undead, when you are up a base, you feel even. This gold mine is nearly mined out, and Yumiko has been able to stay about even throughout the match. We're actually looking at Juan not trying to set up an additional base, but instead unsummoning buildings for extra gold for what is bound to be that last push. Is it going to work out? That is the question now. As well, no more mining. Everything is going to be brought, and he's just bringing in as much as he possibly can, hoping that he wins this battle, perhaps unsummoning one of these slaughterhouses as well to train up an additional unit would be helpful, or at least buying some extra items. Let's take a look at this. Dark Ranger also doesn't have any items. Death Knight has some useful items. Let's see how well it's going to go as we're taking a look at a Siege Engine off across over here. All right, Siege Engine going to end up getting surrounded in just a bit of just a moment. How come you cannot surround a Siege Engine with that many units? I don't quite understand it, as the Death Knight purposely gets in front of that Siege Engine to try and block him. All right, let's take a look. There is going to be enough damage right there. There it goes. Mountain King is in that front. There's a big thunderclap trying to cause a little bit of separation in the army. Acolytes being brought over as well. 70 over 70 compared to 72 over 84. Extra workers are not really going to help, as we only have 30 seconds of mining left. All right, continuing the battle here. Stormbolt onto the Abomination. Abomination now also with that Orb of Fire debuff has a hard time staying alive and healing. Destroyer in the air. If it can eat through a lot of that inner fire, yeah, you can take a look. All of that right there gets a good amount of mana and hit points and could try and do it again. Flying machines are back across over here. This could be the battle as we're looking at one trying to push across here. Abominations are all in a good spot. There's a Stormbolt again, and you need to get the Death Coil off before the Mountain King starts that attack. All right, still fighting its way through. No, where is the Abominations trying to eat or trying to devour? Magic Riflemen are just picking apart all of these units here. The front line is mass riflemen, but the Abominations have enough hit points that they're easy to cycle through and not end up getting taken down. Destroyer up in the air, absorbing way too much damage, needs to back away. Down it goes, giving level 2 to the Paladin. Maybe Devotion Aura for a little bit of extra health. Let's take a look at this. Mountain Kings continuing to engage. Dark Ranger now gets up to level 4. There's a big Thunderclap again. Silence. Death Knight, well, unable to finish off the Mountain King as he uses a Potion of Lesser Invulnerability. Death Coil saves another unit. There's another Thunderclap again. Death Knight low on mana, unable to land any more Death Coils as an Abomination about to get taken down. Abomination still fighting their way through. 54 compared to 65. Juan is slowly losing the fight here as the units are just not sticking around long enough. Mountain King low on mana, currently silenced. Death Knight low on mana. What is he doing? He needs to back away. Uses a potion of mana. There's the Death Coil to try and save. As well, we could see the death of a Mountain King. Mountain King could get taken down. There's Avatar. Avatar gives him a little bit of extra health, trying to fight his way through. Death Coil back onto the Abomination, still trying to battle it out. Mountain King down to 268 hit points, needs to get away. Death Knight unable to get a Death Coil off there, and there is the G. There's the GG. And Juan wins. Juan actually able to win that battle up until the very end. He got the Abomination, but knew that he wouldn't be able to hold on to his Mountain King. And with that Mountain King gone, that would be it. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Hope you guys enjoyed it.